SmackDown used to be the show of The Rock, but now it's just the show of rematches as once again we get Brock Lesnar versus a variation, a Team Angle. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling for your SmackDown review for the 27th of February 2003. We're on the way to WrestleMania. No Way Out is in the past, but apparently not tonight, because McMahon wants to show pretty much the entire ending of the Hulk Hogan Rock match. Now, I get it. McMahon screwed Hulk Hogan. Back then, it was very, 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 very rare for them to show any footage from a pay-per-view that was actual video and not stills. But at the same time, it was like, if you've already seen the pay-per-view, which I imagine most people have, you're sitting there awkwardly for 10, 11, 12 minutes throughout the show watching something that you've already seen that, to be honest, wasn't that great in the first place.
It wasn't that great in the first place. It wasn't like a 10-second or a 30-second recap. You're right. It was literally from when Rock hit the rock bottom up until McMahon went off the air and No Way Out. That was what you got. But for me, that wasn't the biggest problem with tonight. We'll get to the problems. Well, we've already kind of addressed the problems. It's rematch city. Raw feels fresh, right? They've got The Rock, and it's almost like as soon as The Rock jumped ship to Raw, he's like iconic Hollywood Rock. On SmackDown, he was like weird tweener face Rock. I didn't dig it, but anyway, let's begin with Vince McMahon. Immediately, he depresses us. He says The Rock will not be here tonight. He's not a Raw guy. And Hulk Hogan will not be here tonight because he's made up some pathetic excuse. It's a family emergency. He's a card. I tell you what, like, this makes Hogan look weak. It does. It's almost like breaking kayfabe, but it's not. I'm going to assume Hogan did have some form of emergency, or he just couldn't be arsed turning up and McMahon's used this excuse.
McMahon burying his son, Nicholas.
That's his goddamn name, Nicholas.
McMahon says Hulkamania is dead. Tonight there's a new mania, Mcmahonamania. And then he puts over the fact that we're going to see... But you know, it's just nothing new. This reminded me very much of current wrestling, like where they show stuff that you've already seen and you're supposed to be impressed. That doesn't really do anything for me. See, if you're going to show something that happened previously, it needs to be a short version, an edited version. I'm sitting here through 12 minutes of this thinking, we just watched this at the pay-per-view. We know what happened. So
Yeah.
what's the point?
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. That was later on in the show.
It's not like, I know, but it's not like end of the year where they're like, oh, here, best matches of the year, and you're like, oh, I remember that match. They're literally showing us something from 4 days ago that wasn't great. But anyway, let's move in to the next match. Funaki and Tori Wilson versus Jamie Noble and Nydia. I mean, it wasn't great, but it is what it is.
It's a fun enough match, right? It's not there for the technicality. It's there for the eye candy. And the faces win. Tori Schoolgirls and Nydia for the victory. 1, 2, 3. Good night.
Good night.
Can't complain.
It's all over.
I'd rather this than a fucking 20-minute Andrade Carmelo Hayes match. I'll tell you that for free.
Absolutely right. Stephanie McMahon then comes out after the match. She teases the whole Hugh Hefner thing. Taz seems adamant that Stephanie's going to be in it for whatever reason. Stephanie then congratulates herself, but not because she's in it, because she has secured the right for Tori Wilson or whatever. So Tori Wilson celebrates. I guess Dawn Marie and Nydia are not happy.
Obviously, though, in recent years, Tori Wilson's come out and said she didn't want any of this. She was forced to do it. I didn't want to do it. I felt like I had to do it.
You know what? I'm calling bullshit. And Tori Wilson should be woman enough to, not...
Woman enough.
Because here's you tell me there's nobody in this roster that wanted that gig. I'm not saying that Tori Wilson wasn't one of WWE's top picks or McMahon's top picks, but are you telling me that if she didn't want to do it, they wouldn't have been like, well, fuck you, we'll give it to somebody who does?
Well, that's it, exactly. So, it's alright speaking hindsight, 20 years later, but well, come on, a spade's a spade. Tori accepted.
I'm sure at the time she was loving it and what it did for her career and the publicity and the money she'd have been getting from it. But, it's easier to say in 20 years' time, I didn't really want to do that. But for me, that's cheap. See, if you didn't want to do it, you just don't do it at the time.
Yeah, and it's just all the bra and panty matches. It's like, yeah, you could agree not to do it. Because at the end, she can say what she wants, right? Yeah, she's not renowned for her wrestling ability. Well, you know what? You can actually perform. You can attempt to be better in the ring. I mean, not every, I know this era gets renowned for bra and panties and the sexualization of women, but not every woman does it. I don't see Jazz doing it.
Molly Holly.
Yeah, I mean, Molly Holly's gimmick was literally the opposite.
Yep, so, we have that. Then backstage, Tori's thanking Stephanie. Brian Kendrick appears. He apologises for streaking. He wants a chance to earn a contract. Stephanie says, if you can last 5 minutes tonight with Kurt Angle, you'll get a contract. Seems easy. Well, not easy, but seems doable. Doesn't need to beat Kurt, just needs to last 5 minutes.
He gets run away for 5 minutes. Actually, we get counted out. But all he's got to do is survive. He doesn't need to win. It's fair enough.
Up next, Eddie Guerrero with Chavo taking on Nunzio with Palumbo and Stamboli. Eddie cheats to win. Palumbo and Stamboli jump in afterwards, attack Eddie. Chavo joins in. Rikishi comes down to even up the odds. 3-on-3. Are we getting a big 6-man tag next week? Who knows?
3-on-3, couldn't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm liking the vignettes that they've been doing with the Guerreros recently, even though I'm pretty sure it was one. But the FBI, it feels flat already, and Rikishi's arse is going to make it even flatter.
Stephanie and Paul Heyman are backstage. Steph says that Paul Heyman has named a stipulation for tonight's match. If Brock wins, he gets to wrestle any member of Team Angle next week in a steel cage. Heyman protests. He says this isn't fair. Stephanie says, life's not fair, get out. We then get Brock and Benoit backstage. Brock says that Team Angle took out Edge. Edge is going to be out for a year. Says that Benoit needs to watch his back. Benoit's like, ha. Don't worry, Brock. I got friends.
I'm the man that people have to watch their backs from, brother. He then opens a door and tells somebody that he'll meet him in the ring. Who will it be? Could this mystery man have been the partner at No Way Out? No, they saved it for Thursday, and you know what? I don't blame them because there wasn't much else happening on this show to redeem it, and I think somebody by the name of Rhino might have half redeemed it.
Possibly. Interview then backstage. Josh Matthews and Matt Hardy, Shannon Moore. Matt talks about winning the Cruiserweight title. Says that Edge's injury is unfortunate, but if he was a Mattitude follower, then he'd be alright. He wouldn't have suffered that twist of fate.
Maybe he was a Mattitude follower, he wouldn't have cheated on Lita with him.
That's very true. Very, very true. Tag match up next. Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore versus Christian and the returning Rhino. Rhino beats Matt Hardy with a gore. And it's like, I mean, I'm not against it, but Matt Hardy just won the fucking belt. But then again, I think that's why wrestling was good. It was unpredictable, you know what I mean? You didn't really know what was going to happen. It's not like everybody was protected.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you can fucking pretty much read it like a book what's going to happen.
No, it does. And this answers a lot of questions. We were wondering where Rhino was. He got fired back in 2001. Obviously, that was kayfabe though, but I was wondering where was he. But it turns out he was out with the same injury that Benoit had in 2001. 16 months on the shelf. It's a long time.
Yep. Up next, I mean, this segment felt like a long time. Taker comes out, wants to speak to A-Train. A-Train then comes out with Paul Heyman. The match gets made for next week, even though we already seen it a couple weeks ago, and Taker beat him, so it's not like it's fresh, but whatever. Paul Heyman says that Undertaker used an illegal chokehold to beat Big Show. He couldn't have beat him without the illegal chokehold. Says he'll not be using that move against the A-Train. Then the A-Train and Big Show attack Undertaker 2-on-1. But don't worry, there's help for Undertaker. Nathan Jones comes down, pushes Big Show off the apron, then does about 4 or 5 roundhouse kicks, misses every single one of them, and A-Train's like, fuck this, and just leaves the ring. Weird save there for Nathan Jones.
It was weird. I tell you what, I've got
spamming it. He's just spamming that.
Spamming the buttons on. He's spamming the triggers on the PS2 controller. Here comes the pain. I've got to be honest with Paul Heyman. I thought the guy just got stale, and like under Brock in like the 2010s. He sucks in 2003 right now.
I still think Heyman's best work was as a commentator.
No, see in 2001, right? I would rate Heyman 10 out of 10. Thought his commentary was phenomenal, and I thought when he was in the ring, putting over the Alliance or in backstage segments with ECW, etc., Austin. Honestly, I think he was faultless in 2001. Even his exit for the company was brilliant, where he got carried out and the King came back. 2002, I thought he was pretty good. Some weird storylines in there. But once it hit Survivor Series, I think this guy's went off a cliff. And is it any surprise when you're partnering with fucking A-Train in the Big Show, and Team Angle without Kurt Angle, you fucking die?
It just doesn't seem like a good pairing. Paul Heyman and Team Angle just seems weird.
Yeah,
If Paul,
if he just teams with Kurt, I think they both got comedic tendencies, but Team Angle's fucking boring.
but it was like he says that Paul Heyman and Angle are both on his team, and now he's got A-Train. So why is he not using Big Show and A-Train to help Angle against Brock?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like it's separate. It's like Heyman's in separate feuds against Taker and Brock, but he won't join his, pieces of the puzzle together.
How about this for a match? Why can't we get Brock, Rhino, Benoit, Taker, whoever else against A-Train,
Nathan Jones,
Kurt Angle, the rest of Team Angle, and Big Show? Aye, Nathan Jones, 5-on-5 match, steel cage, special SmackDown main event.
Why not?
Why not? I'll tell you why not. Because it sucks. It's not that good.
Then we got John Cena cutting a promo on Brock, like a rap promo.
Wee bit too long for me.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. 5-minute challenge, Brian Kendrick versus Kurt Angle. I mean, it was decent. Kurt Angle beats him with 2 minutes to go after hitting the Angle slam. He then puts him over afterwards. He's like, yeah, kid, you done pretty well there. You put up a decent fight. You've got heart. You're not going to make it in the business, but I appreciate the heart. And then he basically used Brian Kendrick as a mini Brock Lesnar and beat him up and hit an F5, saying to Brock, this is what you're going to get at WrestleMania. Then Sylvain Grenier came out. They showed the footage from No Way Out. We've seen exclusive footage of Hogan afterwards where he was backstage looking for McMahon. Just a waste of 15 minutes here, let's be honest.
Well, no, let's be honest, right? What are they doing sending this guy out by himself? Why is he getting the rub
McMahon's there?
of showing the fucking VHS tape?
When McMahon's there?
Yeah, why not have McMahon and him out there? See when Tony Chimel has to the man that helped Vince McMahon screw Hulk Hogan last night against The Rock, Sylvain Grenier. And he comes out, man's half speaking in French, half speaking in English. Oui, sacre bleu, shit, is what it was. Then we get our main event, Brock against Team Angle. You just get constant interfering. I mean, there were some funny things where you've got Angle running and Heyman running, but Brock wins. Oh, shocker, it's so obvious he was going to pick Kurt. I actually realised by the end, oh wait, he's going to pick Heyman, but by the time I realised, he literally said Heyman.
I called it.
Yeah, so we called it here.
But then again, is Paul Heyman really part of Team Angle?
Well, he fucking claims to be. So technically, A-Train and Big Show are part of Team Angle, Team Agent Angle. Oh, we all got the same agent.
Brock Lesnar points up the ramp and he's like, I pick you. Angle's like, oh shit. And then he's like, Paul Heyman. And then you just see Angle's face, this big, massive, cheesy smiler. And he's like, get in. It's not me. Angle backs off up the ramp and Paul Heyman's just standing there frozen while Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin walk up defeated. Next week, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, steel cage, match on SmackDown. But again, why don't we see Big Show and A-Train get involved since they're also Paul Heyman guys? Wouldn't Paul Heyman be getting those guys involved to help him out?
Well, exactly. I think it's a pretty decent ending to SmackDown. It's going to be him against Heyman and Angle laughing about it and smirking away, but I don't think it was a good show. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I thought it was pretty flat. Considering Raw was like a 9 out of 10, thought it was pretty damn near perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it towards the end. But then again, I think the Angle Brian Kendrick stuff was good, but in the middle of that, you had to repeat the fucking the No Way Out rewind, and that kind of just, I mean, that kind of did, in my opinion, just dampen the show. I'll get a 5 out of 10.
4.5 out of 10. I just hope SmackDown can get better, but can it? I mean, what's really left for SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania? I think if you get more McMahon-Hogan interaction, I mean, can that really carry SmackDown up to the promised land of a 9 out of 10? I just don't think it can. We've seen Angle and Team Angle and Lesnar and Taker and A-Train and Big Show. It's just fucking, I'm sick of it. Honestly, I'm sick of it. Anyway, 4.5 out of 10. Peace.